Wanted to learn about how to make a canoe, it's essential that you know how that canoe operates on the water. If you want to know how the canoe operates on the water, you need to know about the waterways in our territory, when to travel, how to travel. If you want to know how to travel on the water, you have to know how to interact with our neighbors, because you can't just travel into someone else's territory. According to our tradition, you have to ask permission to come ashore in their territory. If you want to come ashore in their territory, you have to know our songs, our dances, the words that we use to ask permission to come ashore. My point is that all of these things are tied together in a way that is what makes our culture. Cedar trees want to become canoes. It's one of the things that they want to do, because we treat a canoe like it's a family member. It's treated as though it's your relative. We acknowledge every time we get on the water that it's dangerous, and it's the canoe that keeps you alive. So when we treat a canoe well every day of its life, we know that when it is necessary, it's going to treat us well. It's going to take care of us.
Our families have some history together, and it involved a canoe, a Haida-style canoe, which dates back to a couple hundred years ago. My family used to go up to all the way up to Kodiak Island on these canoes. It was part of our trade route. Some of his culture added to it. So we kind of mixed and matched a little bit, and what we came out with was a canoe that represented both the Alutiiq and the Haida, and the interaction that we had a couple hundred years ago. We talked it over. It was a whole process. It wasn't like we made up our mind and then started doing it. It was a process. There was a little bit of back and forth in the beginning. But overall, it was a pretty good, smooth collaboration.
And a big difference in how we all put it all together. So I enjoyed every bit of it. I learned a different style of work of how he does things, and he seen what I did, and it kind of helped us both, and all three of us in the way to work together. So all coming from the water, it was pretty nice.
I'm just starting on this side with a character that represents the wind that's going to blow across this landscape. And this piece of wood has some characteristics that already lend itself to the environment that we're going to express.
Inspiration is water is life, many Wachoni. So that's what I'm going to be doing on here. It's a different way or different element of working on something to carve an image, I guess. So it's a challenge for me to figure out a balance, because I don't want two different pieces on one slab. So I have to figure out to blend them with his culture, so it's one piece instead of two separate pieces on one slab, and it doesn't make sense. And so we're trying to have one message, and roots.
The Seri ironwood has that true beauty of sculpture that makes you want to touch it. I mean, you just want to pick that fish up and feel it. And there's, again, just the hint of the mouth, but no eyes, but the smoothness, the motion of it, and as if it's in the water. The sea turtle is just, it's just like swimming through the water. So the other thing about series is they only do forms that are in their mythology or that they know. Everything they know from their environment.
There's a wolf in the paddle. And again, it ties the land. Because with every land creature, there's an ocean creature. So this kind of ties the wolf to the sea wolf. The orcas are the sea wolf, or the wolves of the sea. Because a lot of our cultures are really, really similar. So, and that's the only way a lot of us in here are able to communicate. There's way we're communicating in there with people that we can't even share the same tongue with. It's, you know, I had people come in and ask me certain questions to come and help them, and I had no idea what they said, but I went over there and I knew what they were wanting, and you know, there's a universal language in the wood.
I learned that kachina is a word that was said in many tongues, and the English said kachina. But then I found out, when I looked back, I found out that that word was katsi, meaning life, meaning culture, you know, and that doll meant a lot to somebody that katsi, life was all about, you know. And giving that tree another life is katsi, you know, and giving the bird, designing the doll up, giving the bird life again, that's katsi, you know. And evolving, the doll always evolving, moving, you know, changing in different ways, that's katsi, that's life. The roots that we live, the roots that we have carried on for many generations, you know, and this tree is a traditional tree that was given as a gift to us so we could make the doll. Because we live in dry land, and we always, when we carve the dolls, we pray for not just us, but for everyone in the world to have moisture. You know, moisture is the number one thing. Water is life. And that's the reason why we also carve the kachina dolls, you know.
Roots has a deep meaning, right? And it has this double meaning of your heritage or your inheritance, the things that maybe you've come up out of. It's really appropriate that this event would have that meaning or that theme, because the beautiful things that you see here are the foundation, the roots of the individuals expressing what they're doing.
It's always the heart, the passion for everything and anything that breathes life, you know, kachina. That's what it's all about, you know, and the roots of the people, you know. It's always gonna be a part of us, and we're gonna always cherish that.
We have a song that we can share. I might be able Walla kuyo huolash kwetso shaibatida. Walla kuyo huolash kwetso shaibatida. Walla kuyo huolash kwetso shaibatida. Charakuhe tu betida. Ta-da!